I guess Lesnar's contract is up a few months after Mania.
Yeah, because there's
talk
been
about
rumor.
him going back to MMA, UFC, but I don't know who is in the UFC.
Well, he hasn't won his last 3 UFC fights. He had first-round knockouts the 2 fights before he came back. Then he came back, and he may have won, but it was ultimately ruled, it goes down in the history books as a no contest because he failed the drug test. So technically he hasn't won in a very long time. So maybe he would just do it for the payday. I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. I do recall that now that you mention it. And he also was suspended, but that didn't matter because he was going back to the WWE anyway.
Yeah, because that's when it came out that the part-time contract performers didn't have to necessarily abide by the same drug testing principles as the full-time performers. But Ryback has said since being released that he was able to take supplemental testosterone therapy during his WWE tenure, but it was under the supervision of a doctor. So I'm guessing there's ways to get around it, because if you've pointed it out numerous times through your various posts that you're an expert on steroids, and you can tell when somebody's on them and when they're not.
Yeah, well, it was kind of obvious with Ryback. Boy, he looked so incredibly muscle density, really a huge muscle density.
And we all love The Rock, but whenever he comes back, he looks like a bodybuilder, and we know they're not testing him with the amount of money they're paying him. And
yes.
I'm not saying they should be testing him. But maybe that's a good example that if all the top stars are able to take something and they're over, who knows? Goldberg had a better physique than 90% of the WWE roster, and he was in his 50s, wasn't he, when he made his recent return? So.
Yes, exactly. You're exactly right about that. And of course, they for Goldberg's return, he did look in tremendous shape, and I know they waived the drug testing stipulation for Goldberg. There was no need to test Goldberg when they knew he would fail the test, and then they would have to suspend him as soon as he arrived. That was just not going to happen. But so I think Ryback, back to Ryback for a moment. I never really, even despite his physique, I never really thought he had good promo skills at all. And I think that I know he complained a lot, but I to be perfectly honest, I believe his lack of promo skill hurt him. But
all I know about him is he charges $3,500 US for an independent appearance, which is pretty outrageous because that's a lot of tickets to sell to reimburse that, let alone adding the travel on top of that.
Yeah, that's really absurd, actually. It's not even, it's mind-blowing.